Disinformation and propaganda tactics used to divide and distract us. The provocateurs and profiteers love to divide and get different political and religionists to fight each other over stupid issues in religion, politics, and different situations. Communism, which is one of the experimental orders that Anthony Sutton points out was financed by Wall Street world banksters. The provocateurs of this atheistic order were known to infiltrate different religious movements in order to discredit and move the people away from God if they could. They'd also caused rivalries between the different religionists and different religions in order to discredit the other religions and distract them all away from what the revolutionaries were up to, that of taking over the countries at different levels. Communism would become, or communists would become priests, infiltrate other leadership positions in churches and key government positions. Then they'd go to work corrupting and twisting doctrines, political ideologies, policies, and in order to bring the people away from God and have the people give up their freedoms in the name of dealing with one crisis after another, which they'd then say they had the solutions to. This is what I've heard from people I've interviewed from South Central America and who have come from communist Russia and other countries where atheistic communism had taken over the countries, or where communism was seeking to maintain control over the people, or were attempting to gain control. These interviews took place during the 1970s through the 1980s, in person and on the radio. Thus, the tactics being used to present propaganda by stirring up controversial issues that are already in existence between religionists, or by creating issues that are then expanded upon to the point where they become distractions, media sensations, and discredit religions and the good they try to do. That's what these tactics are all about. For example, if Catholic priests have serious sexual issues, it is used against the whole religion in general in order to spread mistrust, lack of interest in religion, and to, quote, get the youth away from religion. This is one of the one-worlders' tactics. The more corrupt a nation becomes, the more they can discredit the good that religionists try to do. The more they move the world towards their own one-world government, with a world religion as the solutions to the wars between religionists. Other ways of distracting us are to try to get us to jump on the bandwagon against other ideologies and religions through the use of faulty conspiracy theories. Ignoring the good that the Masons try to do, faulty conspiracy theorists will attempt to claim that it's nothing but the Masons behind the New World Order, when we know that there's many good things that Masons try to do. Many of us that have taken a look at the whole bigger picture, stepping back away from all the internet hype and exploring other websites, know that different types of people from many different types of backgrounds is what makes up the world conspiracy. Yes, Masonry was infiltrated and used by conspirators, but it's not just a Masonic New World Order. Other faulty conspiracy theories try to make it sound like it's just a big, huge Jewish conspiracy. We often get this from neo-Nazi Jew-hater propaganda sites that often have good points against communism, Hitler being anti-communistic. But unfortunately they also mix in disinformation, hate propaganda too, with these type of conspiracy theories. Some faulty conspiracy theorists would like us to think that it's nothing but a huge New Ager world conspiracy, or that the New Agers are behind it all, or that the Mormons seek to take over the U.S. and the world by having a Mormon become the U.S. president, when this is not the case. The plot and conspiracy to bring about a one-world government, New World Order, includes different ones from all walks of life and from many different religionists and non-religious backgrounds. We can hardly blame it all on the Baptists because some of Rockefeller's did go to Baptist churches, or the Jews because some of the Rothschilds are part of it, or that the whole conspiracy is just the Catholics. Why? Because, after all, Adolf Hitler attended a Catholic school during his youth and was influenced by the Holy Grail lore, Christian knight orders, ceremonies, plus the Teutonic Knights, who came to be the centralized power in Russia and the Balkans lands, which they helped conquer and colonize. Now, is that to say that it's a Catholic conspiracy only? Of course not. But this order was founded, the Teutonic Knights order, which influenced Hitler's thinking, was founded in 1198 by German knights in Jerusalem. Knights were Christian soldiers, and chivalry was the Christianized profession of arms, which Himmler and Hitler were inspired by and took from. Because Hitler was also influenced by renegade Georg von Liebenfeld's, his racialistic Astara, which he wrote and which Hitler read, and the occult and his cult Asterphus, and is also an esoteric order of the New Templars, which influenced Hitler's worldviews. Would this all then be the evidence that the whole conspiracy is a Nazi white ring conspiracy? Of course not. So all this would hardly qualify also the Catholics as a whole or in general as being Nazis or being one-worlders. As for Hitler's new order in Europe, even though from history we know that some of the Catholics were used and were sympathizers to the Nazis, it wouldn't be fair to Catholics to throw them all in with world conspiratorial theorists' views and claims that it's all the Catholics that are behind it. Those evil, nasty Catholics. From history we also know that some Jews, not all, helped the Nazis' war machine. Some were part of I.G. Farben's industrial giant before and during World War II. That Rockefeller's Standard Oil got in trouble for trading with the enemy. A law that was established. And they were fined for fueling Nazi U-boats during World War II. That American companies, as world corporations, were also fueling both sides of the Vietnam War too. And some of those were even Standard Oil, for that matter. And the point being is that the conspiracy theories that focus in on vilifying certain groups only are just nothing more than hate propaganda against those groups. So we ought to be more careful in our presentations and in accepting conspiracy theories of different ones who like to vilify their rivals or focus in on different groups that they allege are evil, satanic, and conspiratorial. Again, it's not just a certain group only, but it's different ones from different groups and backgrounds of all types. Some who may be and some who have infiltrated the different groups. Groups that faulty conspiracy theorists like to focus in on in order to allege that it's just the Masons, or just the Jews, or just the Mormons, or Christians, or Baptists, or atheistic communists, or Satanists, or non-religious, or world banksters, or politicians, or just New Agers, or just movie producers, etc., etc., etc. They want the different groups to go on holy wars against each other so that they all are so caught up in the polemics and are so distracted that they don't note how our freedoms are being taken away in the name of solutions to the wars, which solutions the one-worlders will tell us is to establish and follow behind the banner of a world religion and world government. That's why these different rivalries and wars are started.